Hi, Zach. Thanks for joining me. I heard you had a near-death experience. Can share it with us, please?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Alan. I was 14. I had just been diagnosed with leukemia. Part of the protocol of leukemia is you have to go on a steroid called prednisone. And so prednisone is a bone demineralizer. It's helpful for treatment, but it causes the bones to become a little bit brittle. So my spine, while I was in the hospital, the vertebrae, they got little fractures. So I needed to go get a back brace. I was with my dad and my 4-year-old brother at the time. I'm standing there, and there's kind of like parallel bars that you had to hold on to keep yourself nice and upright. And as he's fitting me and doing these measurements on my chest, I started to feel a little fuzzy. I was probably there about 15 minutes, and this fuzziness just started getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. So we walk out of the building, down the steps, and I'm in front of my dad and my little brother, who's just kind of on my dad's hand. And they're still talking to the technician, we'll see you guys later. And I was kind of rushing at this point to get to the truck, my dad's truck, which is probably about 50, 60 yards away. And I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. I finally take a seat. I'm like, okay, just calm down, just relax. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And I sat on the lip of my dad's truck and was just like, oh, geez, oh, geez. And I looked at my dad probably about 30, 40 meters away. And I said, Dad, I'm going to. And then I went black. And all of a sudden, I opened my eyes and I was in a tunnel with a shadow figure who was wearing a trench coat. And it was the most luminescent, goldy, silvery, white, glowing energy. And it was like moving around me and through me. The only thing I can attribute it to was feeling like liquid love. So I just was enamored in this space, like, whoa, what is this? Feeling completely at peace, no concern, no worry. I didn't even think of my body. I was just, one minute I was there, and the next minute I was in this beautiful tunnel. So I looked forward, and I remember, and I see the shadow figure that's just kind of waiting for me. Immediately, I thought to myself, oh, that's Grandpa, my dad's dad, who had died 7 years previous. I saw his figure, and we had this inaudible conversation. And he just told me, everything's going to be okay. You're going to get through everything. You just have to keep going. It's important that you keep going. We had other conversations, and I remember having things like that, but when I came back, it was like a dream where I don't remember the extra stuff that we talked about. So we had this conversation, and I felt like we just were in this space for forever. And then all of a sudden, without a warning, I didn't get a choice. It was just, I felt sucked back, like I was getting pulled back through a vacuum, through this black tunnel, and I, boom, hit and was back in my body, but I couldn't move. My nervous system was still jacked from the passing out, and so it was still coming online. And all I heard was, Zach, are you okay? Are you okay? Zach, are you okay? And then I heard another voice, and they said, do you want me to call the ambulance? And my dad said, no, it's fine. Just, Zach, are you okay? And I felt him touching me, and I couldn't open my eyes, so I kind of was able to utter, I'm okay, I just can't move yet. Maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, it felt like, you get the tingles and are coming back online. I opened my eyes, and there's my dad just, terrified, face just like, whoa, what the heck? And my little brother, who's just 4 years old, just terrified as could be. And so I get up, my dad helps me to the truck. So, I'm awake now, and I'm mulling this experience over, like, what the heck just happened? And at 14, I never had anything happen like that yet. So I'm thinking, okay, I just sensationalized this in my brain, but I did want to tell my dad. So I probably spent a few days to a week, 2 weeks, I don't know, it was fuzzy. But I finally was like, okay, I'm going to tell Dad. And I said, hey, Dad, when I passed out, I had this experience that I don't want you to worry, because he's kind of a worrywart. And I said, I saw Grandpa in this tunnel of light. And immediately his eyes kind of opened, and went the other way. You know, he's thinking my son, who just got diagnosed with leukemia, is going through this serious treatment. Is he dying? And he goes, what did he tell you? You know, what did he tell you? What did he say? And I said, you know, nothing. He didn't say anything bad. He said everything was going to be okay. That I just had to keep going. You know, like I had to keep moving through this. And he said, oh, okay. And he said, what did he look like? And I go, I don't know, but he was wearing a trench coat. I was like, this is weird. I've never seen Grandpa wear a trench coat before, because I only knew him until I was 7. A few months pass, and one day he finds a picture and he goes, Zach, is this what Grandpa looked like? And it was my grandpa as a young man in his late 20s in Prague, with the exact same length trench coat and the exact same figure that I had seen him. So that was my, validation that what I did experience was very real.
Did your dad know him as a trench coat wearer, or was he surprised by that too?
I think he was surprised by that too, because I don't think he really was a trench coat wearer. He was a professional man. He was a chemist and stuff like that, business owner and different things. So I think he wore more professional suits, not a trench coat. But in his younger years, when he was this young, dapper, late 20s man, he was wearing this big trench coat.
Like, how big was the tunnel? Like, if you put your arms out, would you touch the edges, or was it like how big was it, would you say?
You know what's the funny is that it seemed like it went on for eternity. Lengthwise.
Well, I mean, even widthwise.
It was how do you say this? It was malleable. It was.
It's like flow. I think you said like fluid almost. Or was it almost like?
It was this. It wasn't a tangible tunnel. It was this, but it was. I don't know how to explain that. That's a good question. It was this feeling, and this feeling.
But it didn't feel. So it didn't feel solid, right? It wasn't like being in a steel tube. Or
no. It felt like if I just. It seemed like it had faint curtains, but you could just push the curtains and keep expanding out that left and expand. So it felt like it had faint curtains, really, really faint curtains that were easily manipulated.
And what color would those curtains be?
It was all the same color. It was a golden. I don't know how to explain it. The density were different.
Was the tunnel emanating light, or was the light at the end of the tunnel?
The tunnel was emanating light.
Okay.
It was light. And okay, think about it. If you're in fluid and you have oil and water, and you can keep like putting more oil, which will push the water out. Imagine it that way. That's a good analogy. The fluid I was seeing was oil and water, right? And so I'm in this love of oil. And I could have continually put more oil in to expand out, but it was still fluid. And but instead of oil and water, it was just a different density.
Would be the oil part, would that be like clear? Or was that?
It would have been more clear. So it would have felt like, it felt
oil and water, but if the oil if it was like the colors were switched, maybe.
Would have been exactly. And I would have been, so looking at my grandpa, I could feel the energy, but it wasn't as thick. And then as you out, it felt like it became oil. And then it went on for forever. But it was just kind of giving me this tunnel-y water pocket.
I love that. That's cool. Thank you for indulging me on that.
That's a good question. I've never thought about that, but that's kind of that's kind of how it felt.
If people want to learn more about you and your experience, where should they go? What should they do?
You can go to my website. You can go to my YouTube channel, which I will be posting a lot more videos, thanks to this wonderful inspiration from you, Alan. I have a website. I don't know. You can follow me on any social media.
Hey, thank you for watching. If you want to know what video to watch next, I would suggest this one. This seems like a really good video for you to watch right now. Yeah, that seems like a good one. Oh, you could subscribe. You could do that too. Subscribe or watch this video. Up to you. Bye-bye.